What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. You know, guys, a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, about 17 years ago, when I first started my business, I was told by other business owners, they gave me some advice, and they told me, they said, you know, one of the first things you have to do when dealing with the public and dealing with people is be a good service provider, and good people will follow. I was told to always choose people over your profit to an extent. And I never knew what that meant until I really got into the folds and, you know, inner workings of how business runs and, you know, experience from being out in the field and doing service for people. You know, you could have a good customer. You know, a good customer will always come back to you. You'll always have a job and a position. They don't give you no strife. You know, you deal with them honestly and on a business level, professional level. They'll take care of you like you take care of them, whether you're providing a service or selling an item. And a lot of people don't see it like that, especially a lot of major corporations and entities out here where they employ thousands and thousands of people, and they get to the point where they feel as though the business is too big to fail. Such is the case in this story I want to tell you, where about a woman that worked at a medical center, outpatient medical center out there in Upland, California, by the name of Andrea Morris. And this happened 4 years ago. Court's going through deliberations and stuff. This woman, ladies and gentlemen, is now a paraplegic. She was a nurse at the City of Hope Medical Center, outpatient medical center, basically. And this woman went into cardiac arrest at her job and didn't receive CPR for the first 7 minutes of her going through this ordeal. She's now quadriplegic, paralyzed, can't feed herself, do anything for herself. This is her story, and I'm going to show you how people just sat around and watched that were supposed to be medical professionals. And this woman lost precious time, and it changed her life forever. Take a look.
When a nurse suffered sudden cardiac arrest at work, her relatives were stunned to learn that no one gave her CPR for more than 7 minutes.
Her family is questioning how that's possible at a facility connected with a highly regarded cancer center. The woman, who was devoted to her family and her patients, is now quadriplegic. Her workers' comp claim denied by her employer.
We have a warning now. Some of what you're about to see is difficult to watch.
She loved being a nurse. She really wanted to help people.
Andrea Morris lived an active life, working as a nurse, running marathons, and raising her 3 children as a single mom. But all that changed May 14th, 2020. Andrea arrived to work at the City of Hope Cancer Infusion Center in Upland. According to court records, she told her supervisor, also a nurse, that she didn't feel well and worried she might have COVID, a constant concern in those early months of the global pandemic. Pam Bertino is Andrea's sister.
She was really worried about her kids and getting it from a patient or another medical professional and then giving it to one of her children.
So a lot of anxiety and stress.
A lot of anxiety and stress, just all the time.
But the symptoms Andrea worried were COVID-related turned out to be the first signs of sudden cardiac arrest. What you're about to see is difficult to watch, but Andrea and her family want you to see it.
She is literally
Nursing supervisor Karen Cerna recorded Andrea's medical emergency on her cell phone as she called 911. Both recordings shared with the I-Team by Andrea's attorney.
I can't get a blood pressure on her. She's completely moaning. Right now, like, she looks like she's having a seizure.
Nurse Cerna mistakenly and repeatedly referred to what was happening as a seizure, but not getting a blood pressure reading, even manually.
I'm not seeing her move at all.
She's not breathing?
No.
In an ongoing workers' compensation trial, Nurse Cerna was asked by Andrea's attorney, once you couldn't get a reading on her blood pressure, it's a fact you didn't start CPR. Correct. This was a missed opportunity to save her, wasn't it? She responded, I don't agree with that statement. When asked, can you explain how videotaping helped her in that emergency situation? Did it help with her breathing? Did it help with her getting oxygen to her brain? Nurse Cerna said no.
It's really scary to think that your boss would take a videotape of you essentially going into cardiac arrest and having agonal breathing instead of reacting and giving CPR.
Attorney Keith Moore points to repeated failures to properly assess Andrea and to react.
There were 6 different chances she had to recognize, do something, but she did nothing.
And he says witness testimony shows it wasn't just her supervisor, Nurse Cerna, who was present.
There were 2 nurses, 1 medical assistant, and 2 doctors, all City of Hope employees.
One of those doctors later saying under oath he was not qualified to perform CPR.
There was a defibrillator very close by, oxygen very close by, and they just didn't react. And to me, it's the biggest mystery of the whole thing. She was dying. Her lips turned blue and then purple.
In court testimony, Andrea's friend and fellow nurse Alma Harris said it wasn't until she arrived on scene that Andrea finally received oxygen and chest compressions. But that was more than 7 minutes after that 911 call began.
Okay, we're going to do CPR. She's not breathing.
8 months in the hospital followed. Her family says they were forced to sell her home and liquidate her 401k to help pay for her medical expenses. She now lives with her parents, who are in their 80s. Her 2 sons also help with caregiving.
There's this woman that was an athlete, and she's lost her livelihood. She's lost her, herself as she knew it.
Andrea is now quadriplegic, requiring 24/7 care, which costs more than $200,000 a year. She's unable to take even a sip of water on her own. During a break in the trial, she talked about seeing Nurse Cerna's video for the first time of her sudden cardiac arrest and her boss's response.
You didn't like it? No.
I was sad.
Nurse Harris, who stepped in to save Andrea's life, testified in trial she felt she couldn't say the truth about what happened when questioned during a deposition, and that an attorney representing the City of Hope hit her chair to silence her. Nurse Harris told the judge she thought the attorney was going to hit her. Nurse Harris still works at City of Hope and felt nervous speaking on camera, but she wanted to share this message.
All healthcare providers should be prepared for basic life support.
Almost 4 years have passed since Andrea's catastrophic near-death experience, which her sister believes was brought on by the immense stress of being a frontline worker during COVID. And even before the pandemic, the published job description for her nursing position states employee will work under stressful conditions. Her family is appalled by the denial of her workers' comp claim.
What's your message to the CEO of City of Hope?
Take responsibility. This happened on your watch. You have insurance. Please help this woman that helped your patients, that helped your business.
The I-Team reached out to the City of Hope, which said, as this is regarding pending litigation, we will not have a comment.
Now, late yesterday afternoon, City of Hope provided this additional statement to us. It reads, "We are deeply saddened by the serious medical event Ms. Morris suffered in 2020, and our hearts go out to her and her family. The health and wellness of our employees and all those we serve is City of Hope's top priority. We remain committed to maintaining a safe work environment for our staff and clinical teams." Now, the trial is ongoing, and because trial dates are not consecutive in workers' comp cases, it could be several months before testimony is complete. City of Hope's attorneys have not yet called their witnesses.
All right, guys, that's the story of Miss Andrea Morris, man. And that's a damn shame how they did that lady. She not the only one. This right here happens a lot. And a lot of these stipulations and little ticky-tack fine print that they have in these insurance companies and these adjusting claims and stuff like that messed up. A lot of the immunity in these medical centers and hospitals that act like they ain't got no fault in it. This woman was failed twice. She was failed by the company that she worked for, and she was also failed by the workman comp people because they work in cohesion, and it's really on the City of Hope Upland Medical Center. The outpatient center is really on them. Where'd this happen at? At work. What doctors was there? The ones at work. She almost died at work if her friend didn't come in there and then take the proper thing. You had a bunch of people standing around like the Three Stooges, and all they could do was videotape and call 911 in a medical building itself. A doctor was there. He don't know CPR. That right there, y'all are at fault because you got people in there that are not properly trained, but you got them in the medical profession. What if she didn't have that cardiac arrest? What if somebody else did, a patient? Would y'all that sat around and videotape some random stranger coming to you for help? This whole thing's messed up. It stinks. This woman got to live with her 80-year-old parents. That is burdensome. And it sounds, that might be the wrong word, but it's burdensome. Did you see that sling they got to put her in? Who gonna put her in that? What if something happened and the medical professionals can't get there that day, but something the bed needs to be changed or something? An 80-year-old man and an 80-year-old woman gonna have to take that responsibility. No matter how easy it is, they shouldn't have to deal with that because it shouldn't have happened in the first fucking place. This is the part that's crazy. This happened on the watch of a hospital that is trying to deny that they had any culpability in the situation. Now, regardless of her having cardiac arrest, that can happen with anybody. But the fact that 7 minutes she went without oxygen, you seen her hands like she went into a stroke. She suffered some type of stroke. Precious time is needed. Why you think medical centers and stuff use urgency? They airlift people if the traffic's too much, or ambulance got sirens and lights on them, because time is of the essence when you're saving lives. This woman put her life on the line just like everybody else in there. But when it was time for somebody else to help her in her time of need, make it make sense. Make it make sense. The hospital should be in full compliance. We feel really bad. Then you're gonna get that bullshit statement. Always that professional jargon bullshit. Yeah, we saying this, but we turning the other cheek. Anything could have happened that made her do that, but it happened in your building, and she did have insurance. She was a workman at that place. Why can't she get compensated? None of this makes sense. But these people are foul. And you know, if it's a loophole, insurance company gonna find it because they don't want to pay nothing. They'll take your payment every month and cut you off when you miss one or two. Quick. But, you know, they'll always tell you, you got to pay this because you need us. Anything can happen. And then when something does happen, nothing is done about it. I'm done. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is messed up. I think by the end of this, she will get some type of compensation because they went public with it in the news. But shouldn't it came to that? 3 children. They got a mother that can't care for herself. Back at home with her parents. Did you hear her talking? That was heartbreaking to hear her saying it. She was active, doing, enjoying life like everybody else out here. Now, I mean, tragedy befalls you and things happen. But I think if they had administered aid as a medical professional they fucking supposed to be, she wouldn't have been that bad off. You agree or disagree? I'll see you in the next video. Take care. It's a damn shame.